What's up, guys? It's time for another video, or at least a series of videos about what my gears have been turning on lately, which is adding in a oil catch can for the 2016 Camaro, the 6.2 liter. In one of my recent discussions after a video, I had a gentleman talking to me in the comments about the fact that there's already an oil vapor collection device or a little box that reroutes collected or accumulated oil vapor back into the crankcase. So I just don't feel like this is a complex device or a complex problem, really. It's well thought out by whoever engineered the car, and you know, to be honest with you, they've already got a device in place. But when you watch the videos that some of our other favorite Camaro guys have covered, they address this issue and show you that oil can be collected in the form of vapor in one of these catch cans. And if that's the case, how well is what GM put in really doing its job? So one can deduce that it's a good idea to go ahead and install one of these, because what could it hurt, right? I mean, what we're talking about is a tube currently that comes off of the timing chain cover, and then there's a vacuum that is being pulled through that line and into the intake manifold, where this oil vapor is continuously being drawn in to the backside of the combustion chamber via the valves. And this oil by nature is sticky. That's what lets it do its job well. It has the ability to stick to metal and create a coating that really and truly is at a molecular level. To remove it, and even then you can't remove it all, no matter how hard you try. You can use a degreaser or a solvent, right, which is a degreaser. In any event, I'm rambling. So the point here is, it's a good idea, I think, to have a catch can, but I'm not going to spend $250. I'm not going to spend $150. I'm willing to spend under $100. So I'm going to unbox and just show you really quickly. I ordered this particular baffled oil can from K-Motor, which can be found on eBay or their website. Looks like kmotorsports.com. This is $60. Comes with a couple of different options as far as connections based on what type of hose you have. My plan is going to be to cut that plastic line that connects the timing chain cover with the intake, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to get some fuel line or some vacuum line, maybe 1/2 inch line, and I'm going to connect it to the input and output on this catch can. Essentially, I'm putting this in line between those two things in an attempt to catch the oil vapor, any extra oil vapor that the car's system isn't already doing, because I don't want all the gummed up, really thin oil. Let me say, very thin oil that is very easily vaporized inside this engine, I'm sure. You know, the heavier oil probably wouldn't vaporize quite so easily. Just an opinion. But 530 is just such a thin oil. Anyway, so I'm going to show you what's involved in these. If you have questions about it, it really and truly, it can't hurt to install this. Maybe I can get it off with one hand. Maybe my camera won't get messed up. So I'm unscrewing. Oh, and you notice there's a petcock valve on here. It's reverse threaded. You can open it and drain it when it gets full, which I will probably babysit that quite a bit at first till I get the feel for how many miles. Anyway, this is all aluminum. You can see there's a baffle in there with a supply hose coming in from, looks like this side. So this is going to come from the hose from the timing chain cover. It's going to push that oil vapor and air mixed into the bottom of this can. It's going to swirl around, and the vacuum coming in from this side is going to be sucking that air back out, and hopefully most of the oil collects on that screen and drips and accumulates in the bottom of this, where we can then open this little petcock valve and drain the oil out so that we don't have to remove this or take any of these Allen bolts or anything out of the top, because to be honest with you, I don't know how durable those would be. So I'm really grateful that this is threaded. Seems like a fairly simple device, doesn't it? Why should that be really expensive? So anyway, doesn't have to be expensive to work well. And this may be a Chinese version of something, but really and truly, you know, this has no moving parts, guys. So you can be snobby about stuff if you want, but, you know, and if that's what you want to do, then, you know, do that for yourself. I spent 60 bucks on this, pretty happy. Okay. Now this comes with a breather so that you can vent the oil crankcase vapors to the atmosphere. And I'm not real crazy about that, because while I may drive a big performance car, it doesn't mean I want to harm the environment. It also doesn't mean that I want to blow oil vapor all over the front of my engine. So I don't think I'm going to be using this, at least not up front. We'll see how full it gets. By venting this, you're actually going to be sucking fresh air into the engine, which could be okay. That means it's going to be pulling less oil vapor out of the engine. But really and truly, I think I'm going to try it with keeping it, you know, fairly sealed system and see how efficient things can run. You can take that little nut out of the top here. Anyway, I will clip in a video where I plan to mount this, and you guys can check it out and see. Anyway, stick with me as I evolve through this and get it installed and see what you think. Maybe it's the right thing to do for you. As far as this bracket goes, I'm not sure if I'm going to use it alone or I'm going to pair it up with another bracket, but that's going to be part of what we work out in the next video. I think I've got an idea. I might use one of those old school ignition coil brackets, like out of an old Ford. It's about 2.5 inches across the top of this. So there are a lot of options for things I could use to mount this. Anyway, stay tuned. I appreciate your patronage. Like, subscribe, share, comment, call me names below. And until next time, I hope you're enjoying your Camaro. See ya. So right in here is where I think that the catch cam would go well. Right in that spot. Nice, open, unutilized area. Up in there, you'll see there's a hose with a white stripe on it, kind of squished in there, and that's the hose we're going to splice into. Anyway, till next time, take care, everybody.